I'm out just about 10 minutes after sunset and there's a nice pinky glow in the sky. Lovely colours tonight. It was a bit warm during the day, it was about 25. A little bit too warm for taking the pug out. But nice temperature now. And now, back to our normal programming with a walk around my local fields. Hello there and welcome to another miscellaneous meander across part of the Chiltern Hills. In fact, just inside the area of outstanding natural beauty, which just happens to be 3 minutes walk from my house. Enjoy! All the rosebay willow herb, well, with a couple of minor exceptions, is all now exploding into fluff. All the seed pods are opening up and you're getting all this cotton candy type stuff. I think one of the names it's known as fireweed is because this stuff, when it's dried, if you keep a bunch of it, it makes very, very good tinder. It's a very good way of getting a fire started because it burns very, very well. So yeah, fireweed seeds. Now this is a heck of a find. Artichoke gall, 2 more artichoke galls in there. You got cherry gall on that leaf. 2 on that leaf, another one on that leaf. Good lord. And all around normal acorns. The wasps had a field day on that particular branch. Here we have a proper marble gall. They're starting to go brown now. It'll get hard and woody as well. Those puffballs I filmed a couple of days ago, probably see now, they've all developed a hole in the top. Can you see? That means they're all now loaded with spores, as you'll see if I do this. Look at all that, look at those, look at those spores. Millions and millions and millions of them. Look at it. I'm actually covering my shoes in them at the moment, so expecting puffballs on my feet later on. There you are, I've done my bit. I've done my bit to propagate the species. Oh, and if you're ever going to do anything like that with puffballs, make sure your dog is out of the way, because you don't want them breathing in too many of those spores and getting them up their nose, because it can do some harm to their respiratory passages, especially if anything starts growing. I'm putting down mycelium there. That said, you don't want to be too close either and breathing them in. You know, lungs full of spores, not a good place for them to be, warm or wet. At least by having spores all over my walking stick and my shoes, I'm actually going to be shedding some as I walk. So that's going to spread them all the way up this path, as well as any winter trail would. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, we're just making a short, unscheduled stop to take on blackberries. I hope this won't in any way detract from your day. Thank you very much. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that the thistles are very much in fluff. Seas a bit, seas and seas of fluff. Look at it all here, look. Loads and loads and loads. Definitely a good year for the thistles this year. Blimey, never seen so many fluffy heads. I was just walking along this little bit here, listening to sounds of nature, well, when there isn't the aircraft noise, and just reminded me that a few years ago there was a programme on Radio 4 hosted by Jim Al-Khalili, all about sounds as history. I think they called it audio archaeology or archaeo something or other. Anyway, it was all about how people are trying to recreate the sounds of how the world sounded in like the Neolithic age or even the Victorian age, just by using our understanding of what was around at the time. And it's quite fascinating, but the thing that got me on this program was they were saying it's a really good idea to record some ambient sound now where you live, so there's a record of it, because the soundscape is always changing. The example he gave is that a lot of big cities are moving over to electric vehicles, so the sound of the city has changed dramatically in just the last 5 to 10 years, and it's going to change even more dramatically as more and more electric cars come on the road and the city actually gets quieter in terms of traffic noise. So he illustrated that by the sound of a trafficscape from the 1960s, which included old London Route Master red buses and the old noisy diesel taxis and the occasional clip-clopping of a horse going along. Now, talking of interesting soundscapes, last Thursday night I went into London to celebrate the birthday of an old friend of mine, and it was nice because I don't go into London as often as I used to. And this was Oxford Street at 7 o'clock in the evening. Larks. Anyway, get between the cabs, make sure there's no bikes coming, and we're heading for the pub. It's quite the soundscape, isn't it? Certainly one part of the soundscape that's changed a lot in the last 25 years or so is the fact that there were no red kites in this area. They became extinct in this area. Then they were reintroduced, I think something like the mid-80s, and now it's almost impossible to look up without seeing one. And you certainly hear them all the time, that distinctive kee-oh, well, well, well sort of noise that they make. So that's completely changed the soundscape, and it's a man-made change because it's humans that have reintroduced the red kites to the area. So that's pretty good. As if on cue. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do subscribe and join me for the next walk. Until then, toodle pip.